a 5-time Grammy Award winner. He is a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he is a voice that has stayed with all of us. Please help me welcome the great Michael McDonald. Michael, thank you for joining us.
Lyle, thank you for having me.
Where are you coming from this evening?
Santa Barbara, California.
Santa Barbara, are you close to Oprah?
They tell me I am, yeah. I don't travel in the same circles as her, but I feel like she's just south of here, actually. Yeah.
How cool! How cool! Well, thank you. I am in Austin, Texas tonight, and I'd love nothing more than to hear you kick off the show.
Well, thank you, man. It's my pleasure again, like I said, to be here. I've been following you since the beginning, man. As you know, we go way back to some common ties in the music business, and so it's a thrill to be here. This is a song I want to do by one of your fellow Texans, Mark Beno. It's a beautiful song. My daughter turned me on to this song, and she always comes to me from time to time with, "Dad, you should do this song," you know. And this was one of those, and I think she's right. And I'm glad to get the chance to do it. Beautiful tune called "Speak Your Mind." They say the best of friends must part sometime, and we may just be the blind leading the blind. But you're the one who always gave me back my peace of mind. All you have to do baby, all you have to do, speak your mind. If you need someone to talk to you tenderly, or lend a hand to help you up off your knee, remember I just live right up the street. And all you have to do, all you have to do, baby, all you have to do is speak your mind. I guess we learned the hard way, baby, how lovers can forget to talk. Sometimes I still believe that the winners are the ones who are never lost. Like lucky coins waiting to be tossed. When all we have to do all we have to do is speak our mind. All we have to do, babe. All we have to do. All we have to do. Speak out from your heart, baby. That's all you have to do.
Oh man! Oh my!
That's Mark Benno's song, yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
God. You know, you do other folk songs in a way that make them sound like you wrote them, Michael. Your voice is just so distinctive, and this today, it's a special honor to be here with you today because today is the 45th anniversary of the Doobie Brothers album, "Taking It to the Streets."
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Which is a song you wrote all by yourself.
Right.
Incredible. First of all, it doesn't seem like it was 45 years ago, but you know what a part of music history that song is, and that album is.
Oh, well, thank you. I always hate throwing those kind of numbers around. You know, I used to hear my father say stuff like that 50 years ago. You know.
Well, when we were talking earlier this week, you told me a great story about your father being a singer and how that was what shaped your singing as well.
Yeah, that he pretty much is probably the reason I took to music. Him and my mom both, but my dad had a beautiful voice. Was a singer, and he was a kind of an Irish tenor and sang in all the saloons in St. Louis area, and was extremely popular for a guy who never got paid for doing it, but he just loved to do it, and he had his favorite piano players that he would play with. And when I was about 4, from the time I was 4, as far back as I can remember, I would go with him on these jaunts out at night where he'd go sing and sit on the windowsill behind the piano player drinking my Roy Rogers or Grenadine soda, and watched him sing all his songs. And he had that he had a certain thing that I always when he would sing Danny Boy, I can remember as a kid, I just always felt like he had something special, some special way of singing a lyric, that I always admired and always wanted to take after,
Well, you certainly did, because you just own any song that you sing. How important is writing to you? I mean, you've had such success with your own songs and with other people's songs. How do you strike that balance?
Well, it kind of strikes itself for me because I'm not a real prolific writer. I never was, and I was always scrambling with each record. It seemed like I never really had the luxury of having enough songs to do an album. So I was always writing lyrics at the console during the mix. And doing the final vocals
Oh my
right as
goodness.
they're mixing the track. You know, more times than I care to admit. And you know, but so it kind of for me was. I love to write and I always enjoyed it, but then it becomes a nightmare when I'm actually doing a project and I have to finish something, you know. But I think I enjoy doing other people's songs, like this Mark Beno song is such a beautiful tune. I think I enjoy that every bit as much as singing one of my own songs, probably more actually. You know?
Well, you know, when I do somebody else's song, the thing that I feel is just complete confidence in the material.
Yes.
As opposed to when I'm doing one of my own. Well, that I tell you, if that's your process, if writing lyrics during the mix is your process, just keep doing that because we love it. we love how they come out. You know, that song about friendship. We met through a mutual friend briefly in 1986. I remember being in the lobby of the Universal Hilton in Los Angeles with my publisher, Bo Goldson of Criterion Music. Bo was the first person in the music business who listened to my demo tape and called me and said, would you like to do a deal? Mm. You know, everybody else that heard my demo tapes before that said, well, you know, I need to play this for my boss, or I need to take it home and play it for my wife. I need to get somebody else to stick up for this thing, basically. And
Yeah,
but Bo Goldson heard it, and he called me up, and you know, it was just like that. We started working together, and there Bo and I were in the Universal Hilton in the lobby, and you were sitting there talking to somebody, just sitting in the lobby, and Bo said, "Oh, there's Michael McDonald. Let's go talk to him." And I grabbed him by his arm. I stopped him. I said, "We can't just go over and talk to Michael McDonald. We can't do that." And he laughed. He said, "No, I know him. And you were so nice." I've always remembered that, and remembered how kind you were that day.
Oh, thanks. And Bo, it's such a great memory for me. He was just such a great guy, such a mentor to so many people like myself and yourself in our beginnings, you know. And he was that guy that he could hear something, you know, all by himself and know that it was a good bet, you know. And though he and I were never affiliated publishing wise, I knew Bo through a couple of writers like yourself who were signed to Criterion, and I was working for one of them one night when I was arrested that afternoon, and he actually came down and bailed me out, got me out of jail, got me a lawyer, and got me to the gig on time. So
Bo did.
Yeah, and he was just one of those amazing guys that you know, I always thought highly of him, and got to get back in touch with him again just before he passed, and I'm really truly grateful for that. You know,
we lost him a few years ago, but the company was historic, really. His father started it in New York back in the 30s, I guess, and their catalog was so deep. I mean, owned all of Charlie Parker's catalog and Lee Hazelwood, and Johnny Mercer owned some of his work as well, and you know, just I always loved to go to the office and just speak with Mr. Golson and get to hang out with Bo.
Yeah, and they had a big catalog from Europe too. I remember that Johnny Halliday and all those huge European acts that I'd never heard of until I met Bo. You know. Well,
that's right. Well, and Bo's sister Eileen, who I saw fairly recently, lived in France, and so I think she was the driving force of that. Yeah. That over there. They were a very musical family, and I feel privileged to have known them and worked with them. You know, we sit here and we play songs, and we act like everything is normal, but this is pretty far from normal, really. You would have in 2020 you and the Doobie Brothers were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you were meant to have done a 50th anniversary Doobie Brothers tour in the summer of 2020. How has, I mean, so that's been put on hold. When, I mean, do you have any idea when you'll be able to do that tour, and what will you call it?
That's a good question. I think we'll actually get out there sometime late summer, early fall. You know, I'm keeping my fingers crossed as is everyone. But I don't know what we'll call it at that point. The tour that almost wasn't, or something. But we'll be hopefully we'll actually be able to do it. You know, it's. I was talking to Pat a couple of weeks ago, and I said, you know, I started asking him questions about some of the songs, and you know, as if, you know, I was just assuming that, you know, we'll be going out at some point soon, and he stopped me and he goes, Mike, exactly what tour are you talking about? And we started laughing. I said, I'm sorry, my mind just snapped back to 2019 for a minute. Yeah, because at that point, especially a couple months ago, it was looking pretty iffy if we would get out in 2021 at all, you know.
Right.
So it's looking more hopeful, you know, but it's still anyone's guess, you know, and I'm hoping that we do, and we're all looking forward to seeing all those audiences that were kind enough to wait on us for this pandemic to roll by, you know.
Amen. Well, I look forward to seeing one of those shows, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to go out and play again too. We've all lost friends, you know, in the pandemic, and so this is another song about friendship. This was written by a songwriter from Houston named Vince Bell, and Vince was a more established singer-songwriter around Houston when I was coming up, and Vince would let me open shows for him wherever he played around town. He'd sort of let me ride on his coattails and get into a club. He introduced me to lots of folks that then gave me work after that, and for that I am forever grateful. Vince lives out in Santa Fe, New Mexico now, and this is just one of my favorite songs of his. I got to record it a few years back. Vince Bell.